Hello Reds, welcome along to All for United.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another match review here on All for United. I'm your host, Temi, aka Temi Talks United, and I have a great crew with me here to discuss the last game of the season, a 2-1 win with our rotational team, our B team, as some people might call it. Good fun to watch today. Really good first half, kind of a slower second half, but a lot of things to take away. I was really excited to see so many debuts today, so many debut goals. And we're going to discuss all of this today. I have Mark with me. I have Charlie with me, Reese. I have my guy Barry with me and my good friend Neil as well. You know what I'm saying? 70 people watching with us right now. Everyone make sure to hit the like button for us right now. We are in second place. Smash the like button for Manchester United, second place this season. A lot of things to kind of take away going forward now. A really fun game to watch. It was fun for a different reason. We had to rotate because we're looking forward to the Europa League final on Wednesday, I believe. And we got to see a debut goal from Anthony Elanga. We got to see debuts from a debut for Hannibal Mejbri. We saw Ahmad out there today, Donny van de Beek, who doesn't play that much. A lot of good things to take away. So it was a fun, really, really fun day. And it's good that, we're in second place. If we can get that Europa League trophy, I would say this season is we got to give Ali a good grade for this season. With a Europa League and a second place trophy. I'll start with Mark. Obviously, it's not you can't read too much into a game like this. It's not something you can kind of build upon because we're not playing our first 11. But it was a good game. We defended well, and the young guys did their thing. What were your thoughts on the game today, Mark?
Yeah, I thought it was a good game overall. I didn't think we played badly at all. A lot of debuts, as you said. I thought Ahmad looked excellent today. Really hungry, always wanted the ball, looked very good on the ball. I think it kind of highlighted our left-hand side. Tellez was going to come in to at least give some competition to Shaw, and going forward actually started the game very well. But I think defensively he was very poor, and a lot of their sort of main attacks came down the right-hand side. I thought it was a solid performance. I thought Tuanzebe was excellent. You've got to remember, you mentioned earlier, this is less than our B team. A lot of debutants. Tuanzebe hasn't had many opportunities at all, and I thought he was excellent today. I thought Bobby was okay. I thought Brandon actually was okay. It was a good all-round performance. Last game of the season, good to get a win, good to keep the sort of 26 unbeaten record away from home, and very good.
No, yeah, I would agree. I thought specifically Ahmad really, really good today. We have a good talent. We have a really good talent there, and I think what this game really showed us again is that I think we have the best probably youth setup in the country in terms of churning out talent consistently. It seems like we're always finding a way to get these under 23 players into the side and bed them in. And it's a real positive thing, guys. Let's get in the comments real quick. Get in the comments for us, everyone who's watching. If you're watching on Facebook, by the way, if you're watching on Twitter, jump over to youtube.com/all4united. Drop a like for Manchester United today, second place. Again, really, really, really fun game. I don't know how else to put it. I'll go to Charlie. What were some things you saw? Let's just in general today. Who were you impressed by? What made you excited today at watching this game?
I really liked the midfield today. I thought that Van der Beek and Matic played a lot better than McTominay and Fred have this season. I thought whatever anyone wants to say about Matic, some people think he's finished, some people think his legs have gone. His legs have gone slightly, but he was involved in both of our goals actually, Matic. I know he's a defensive midfielder, but he brought the ball out. Perhaps where McTominay or Fred would have passed it backwards for the first goal. And then for the second goal, he went on sort of a mazy run, didn't he, on the Wolves' right-hand side. I think he gave it to, he might have given it to Mata, I think. I can't remember who he gave it to, knocked it back to Van der Beek to win the penalty. So I really like Matic and Van der Beek. I thought they were a lot better than McFred are, actually, in most games. And I thought Juan Mata, maybe on his last game for United, I thought the positions he picks up are just so clever, even if he's not as mobile as he used to be. And then I think, as Mark already touched upon, it was nice to see Alanga and Ahmad get a start. Obviously, Alanga with a fantastic finish for the first goal. And I thought Ahmad just looks, you can tell Ahmad's going to be a real player. He already is a real player, actually. There's no surprise. I think we paid 30-odd million for him. He just looks a real player for his age. And then I thought Twanzebe as well. I think he made 2 blocks within the space of a few seconds towards the end of the game to keep the ball out of the net. I think Twanzebe should start with Lindelof on Wednesday. I think he did enough. I think he did a little bit more than Bailly for me today. But I actually enjoyed this game more than a lot of other games with our supposed first team that we normally play. I actually enjoyed this game more today. I thought we played better football than we usually do, actually. So yeah, good win.
No, yeah, that's a great call out. I think that, when there's watching as a fan, a majority of the season, I feel like we watch it stressed. We're watching games and we're stressed the whole way through. We're chasing things. We're chasing, top 4. We're chasing the title at one point this season. So it's hard to kind of, actually enjoy games. It's weird. It's like you're enjoying it, but it's like suffering through almost because you're just stressed all the time. But today it was kind of relaxed, stress free. We could kind of enjoy it. I'll go to Neil today. We touched on, Twanzebe. We touched on, Alanga. Let's talk about that. I want to follow up on Charlie's point of the midfield on, the Matic, Van de Beek midfield, because I've been very adamant that I don't really think Van de Beek should be playing in that position. I think he's a 10. But he did really well today. I thought he played well. I thought he held his own against a really good Wolves midfield. What were your thoughts on him today, Neil?
Well, I know this was picked up on the television, but I also had noticed it. Regards Van der Beek, I think it was quite refreshing to see a central midfield player who's considered a 10, but picking the ball up off the centre half and the goalkeeper and starting to play at the base of the diamond. So tactically or positionally, however you want to say it, I think that's something for Ollie to look at in the future as another way that we can, shape the side. And having Van der Beek playing, he can play the deep role because he looked very comfortable when he was picking the ball up in deep areas. Matic thought put in a great performance. I'm guessing that's his last performance. But midfield did look really good, and Barry's going to love this. But I would definitely play Van der Beek above Fred.
Interesting. No, I mean, that's a fair shout. Fair shout. Yeah, he definitely proved me. I won't say he proved me wrong per se. I just don't think that's his best position. But yeah, no, it was.
But I think it's the way. I think with Van der Beek, he's clearly got a footballing brain, and he's clearly got a very, very good footballing brain. In the way that Juan Mata's got a good footballing brain, and I'm hoping that Van Mata stays on as a coach. And I think the main player that would benefit from Mata staying on, in my opinion, could be Van der Beek. He's added gear over here. He's obviously watched more than he's been involved. But he's just parts of his performance today that sort of made me sort of sit up and go, that's not something we normally see from our midfield. So if they can, I'm still adamant we only need one holding midfield player, home or away. We're Man United, for God's sake. We're into play on the front foot. But Van der Beek just gives us, there's just another string to his bow that I'd never noticed before today. And I thought, midfield, I thought we were well on top. Against Neves, who's probably top 10 midfielder in the country, in most people's eyes. And we looked comfortable from start to finish.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a fair point. Wolves played a pretty much, as strong as they could have gotten for the most part. I mean, obviously Jimenez, their best player, wasn't there. Adama got hurt early on. But they played a strong side against, and we won against, like Mark said, not even our B team. It was interesting to see. Doc, I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this game, and then, looking forward into next season. I'm interested to hear what your thoughts are, because it's kind of a roundup. We're obviously we have one more game to go. Season's not over, but in terms of the Premier League, what did you take away from this game, and then what did you take away from this season as a whole?
Well, firstly, I was relieved that he rested all the key players and he made all those changes that was essential. I Neil says about Donny. I think that this, for me, was his best of the season, and this is something to think about, because I'm all for it. So I think there's no doubt we'll start with McTominay and Fred on Wednesday night, but maybe this is a role that Donny could play in next season. I enjoyed the game because there was no pressure in this game whatsoever, and it was good to see youngsters given a chance. I particularly liked the look of Hannibal. I've watched him playing a lot in the under-23s this season, and he certainly looks like one for the future, as do all these young lads. But, all too often, as soon as a guy's made a bit of a breakthrough, made a debut, we've extolled his virtues as being the next superstar, only to be disappointed. So I think we mustn't get ahead of ourselves, but we hope to see more of these youngsters, certainly. I would say that Tuanzebe probably played himself into the team for Wednesday night if Maguire is unfit. I'm not sure if there's a bit of deception going on with Maguire in terms of his injury, but to come back from an ankle ligament injury so soon, I think it's very doubtful, and I think Axel probably played his way into the team. Apropos next season, this squad is not nearly good enough to win things next season. We need to strengthen the squad. And we've got to strengthen the squad in key areas: centre-back, right wing, defensive midfielder. And many would say striker as well, because those around us are going to strengthen their sides as well. But if we win on Wednesday night and we finish second in the league, it's a very positive season and it's going in the right direction. So an enjoyable game for me. Henderson was really troubled the entire game. So we did well. I enjoyed it.
No, all fair points. All fair points about looking forward into next season. I would agree that we definitely need to strengthen. How we're going to do that, or if the Glazers will provide the funds, that remains to be seen. I really hope off the back of a second place finish that we invest in the squad. I do agree that we need a center back. We do need a defensive midfielder. I'm interested to see if they want to develop Ahmad and maybe keep Greenwood and Ahmad there, and maybe not sign a right winger. I don't know what they'll do there, Barry and team, but it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be really interesting to see.
And if I just add on the subject of Juan Mata, what a great servant he's been to the club, and what a good guy. Fantastic football brain. If only his legs were quicker. That's the problem. And I think that he's probably reached the end of his time at United. That's room for centre. You can't keep him on as a player. And I have a feeling he'll want to play elsewhere. To take on another coach, I think we're top heavy with coaches at the moment. But great servant to the club, and to see him score the winning goal on what was probably his last game for United.
Yeah, no, major shout out to Juan Mata, aka El Mago. Wonderful career, wonderful man. I think he was a very good servant to us. I think he did a lot of dirty work jobs playing on the right wing when he's not really a right winger for a lot of the time he played for us. And if this is his last game, it was a great way to send him off. Shouting out his late mother today as well. It was good to see, really, really good to see him get that moment. And I'll go to Reese now. Looking into, we'll talk about the game a little more, but then also we'll discuss maybe Manchester United as a whole in the season. But what was your takeaway from the game, Reese? What were some things you saw that excited you? And then looking forward into the Europa League game, is there anything that you saw today potentially that you could bring forward into Wednesday?
First of all, just want to say thanks for having me on. It's been a wee while. It's good to see the lads again. As for today's game, I wasn't too particularly to be honest, like I know Mark knows this, I wasn't particularly bothered. It was just a matter of just seeing the game out and then moving on to Wednesday. But when I seen the lineup and I seen all the young lads, I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter. It's Man United. I'm going to absolutely enjoy this game. And I did. I thought it was fantastic. Just watching the young lads play with such freedom. Like, you could just tell. It was like playing on a park. Like, they didn't care. Like, it was good to see. And just to see them express such freedom at such a young age with a little bit of experience behind them, like Matic and Mata in there, it was good to see as well. And I thought the centre-back partnership was actually impressive today. Henderson in goal, very rarely challenged, but fantastic as well. And that's what you want, really. I thought, like, I've had issues with him all season because when he's played, he hasn't been convincing enough. Telles and Telles and Van de Beek, sorry. But today they put in solid performances, and it's good to see that they're fighting to show if they're good enough for this team, and that's what you want. But I've also got something as well for the lads you're going to really enjoy. This was tweeted out about 5 minutes ago, and this is for the whole season. If you don't mind, Tammy, I'll just quickly read it out. You're going to like this.
Yep.
It's for the whole away season, like so for the away games. So it was 19 goals, 35 scored, 16 conceded, and we won 12 of those games, no defeats for the whole unbeaten season.
Yeah, no, that's an impressive stat. You're saying we were unbeaten away from home all season in the league. Yeah, all
season. Yeah, and we won 12 of those games.
Yeah, that's really impressive. That's very, very impressive. You have to give credit where it's due. How we have done that. It's this season is a very interesting one. I think we'll remember this season.
Absolutely. And also, Barry, cheers for the comment. It's one of my favorite retro shirts.
Oh yeah. Let's let's get into the comments real quick. It's
one of my all-time favorite shirts.
Oh yeah, love it. Not this one. Akil says Donnie looked comfortable playing in the pivot. If we sign a CDM, he should be playing in that position. Doesn't make enough risky passes to play at CM. Interesting last sentence there. Also, well done to the team on going unbeaten away from home this season in the league. Shows we are building. Let's hope we buy well in the summer. Major call out. We lost the same number of games as City. Those dry no-nos in the big games and slip-ups at Everton, West Brom, and Arsenal could have cost us. Don't forget Sheffield United. That was another one. We already seen this one. But yeah, no, everyone's kind of saying the same thing. Obviously, Wednesday's huge. I mean, I think we all know on this panel how important Wednesday is for this season. For Ollie to get that monkey off his back and getting a trophy, especially a trophy. I know we kind of don't want to be in Europa League, but if you're looking at it objectively, it's technically the second biggest prize in Europe. If we're being real. So I mean, yes, it's we don't want to be there, but winning a Europa League is something
it's a trophy.
It's a major trophy. It's a major trophy, and we need to be, all guns blazing, on Wednesday and doing everything in our power to get over that hump. And I think we can. Obviously, they have a very good manager in Unai Emery, who's done this. I don't know how many. I think he's won like 3. If I'm not mistaken, 2 or 3 Europa League titles. So it's not going to be easy, but taking everything into account, I'll start with Mark. What are your? I know we're going to do previews and everything, but I want to touch on this for a second here. What are your thoughts on Wednesday, and what do you think is the future hold for us?
Massive game. Obviously, we got through the semi-final, which was a big problem for us, so it was deemed to be by a lot of the news outlets. So we're there. Obviously, you can see with the team that we played today, or Ollie played, he's very much got his eyes on that game, and it's not make or break, but this is something that we have to win. This is something not just for Ollie. This is for the players. For the club, we've not won anything for 4 years almost now, and this is an absolutely massive game. It's obviously a shame that Harry Maguire's not going to be available. Probably, I very much doubt that. But we have got players. earlier in the season, he went for sort of 5-6 games alongside Maguire, and he was absolutely excellent. We know that he can do a decent job, and we saw that today. We've banged on about Twanzebe and how he is a good player. He's a good youngster, one of the best youngsters I feel, other than Mason Greenwood, to come out of the system in the last few years. And I think he's excellent on his day. And you got to remember as well, we're quite quick to go in on him, but he hasn't had many minutes. When you come in and you're not fresh and you're not, you haven't been playing with these players, it's very difficult to do that. But I thought he was exceptional today, and I think it shows that we have got the players to come in and do a decent job. With regards to Donny, Temi, you and I have had this conversation many times. He is a number 10. At Ajax, he was playing in a very different style of football, and that's something that you can't come to the Premier League and adapt very quickly. And also, their season finished early. Now, I know it's a whole season gone, but that's going to have a massive effect on him. And he is a number 10. I actually don't agree with the double pivot and that he can play in it very well. I think he needs to play further forward. It was only a few months ago when he's played in that double pivot a few times and he was poor and everyone was jumping on that. So just one game doesn't change that. But yeah, it's a massive game on Wednesday. I'm absolutely buzzing for it. Obviously nervous, but as I said, it's not just Rolly, it's not just the players, it's everyone in between. It's massive and we must win it.
Yeah. Let's get in the comments real quick. Adarsh Tripathi says Donny played really well today. Maybe he's coming into his own finally. Fair point. The 6 losses and 11 draws is the disappointing part of the season. We'll touch on that here in a second. We had 8 players from our academy. Yes, from Kakiso Mulapati. Yeah, that's a very impressive thing. A very thing, like that's something to be really proud of. Honestly, I was watching the game today, like damn, like this is what separates us. You know what I'm saying? This is really what separates us from the likes of the City, a Chelsea, all these clubs who have tons and tons of money like we do, but we still find a way to play, players from our youth system. It's a really, really exciting thing to say. Wednesday's final in this summer transfer window will be very telling as to what direction the club is heading in. I agree with that, but it's so hard to ever figure out our direction with these owners. It's just, you know what I mean? Like we can do all we want. We can bang on about who we need on Twitter, but at the end of the day, the money needs to be spent wisely. The people who are negotiating need to be top tier, and I don't know if we have that. I genuinely don't know if we have that. The Premier League is so much more intense than Eredivisie. Better managers, more money. Yes, I'm thinking he's referring to Donny and his transition. I'm going to go to Charlie now, and we'll go back to the season and review. How would you assess Ollie this season? I might just go around the horn and just ask everyone this question. Like, what were your thoughts on how Ollie managed the season? And what are your overall thoughts on Ollie, Charlie?
Well, it's been a very unprecedented season, hasn't it? No fans in the grounds. The fixture congestion has been more busy than ever. Obviously, we finished in second place, 74 points, was it? I think. I think that's obviously we got more points than we did last season, and we can win a trophy as well. So if you look at it on the face of it, then you'd say, we've had progress from last season, but I still think, obviously, unbeaten away all season is a really good achievement. However, I think you do have to consider there's been no fans in the grounds. We've come back. I think we've got 31 points from losing positions or something like that this season. And if the fans are in the grounds when we're playing away from home and we go 1-0 down, it's going to be harder next season to come back if we keep going 1-0 down. So that is a factor I think needs to be considered, as well as the 0-0 draws. I think we've had 7 this season in the league. So I still think there's quite a bit of inconsistency. I still think I think a lot of other fans as well. McFred in midfield. I think even with the options that we actually have at United, I still think Matic, Pogba plus one of McFred would be better than McFred in a lot of games. maybe not in the big games against teams like Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, but in games where you need to dominate possession, you need to be on the front foot. I don't think McFred are good enough. And I think Ollie hopefully will address that. Even if we don't get signings in the summer, I still think we can do better than what with what we've actually got. But yeah, I think if we win the final, I think we'll all be quite happy actually, finishing in second place. I think I'm neither Ollie in nor Ollie out, somewhere in the middle. I think I'm going to judge him properly next season when Liverpool have got their best team back, when Chelsea have got Chelsea actually, you know, they got in the top four, didn't they, today? And they might win the Champions League. So a full season under Tuchel next season, it's going to be much tougher competition next season in this league, I think. So I'm going to judge Ollie properly next season to see if we can compete, because I think we've probably got the fourth. I think we've got the fourth on paper, the fourth best starting 11 in the league. I think Liverpool, Man City, and Chelsea on their day have got better squads than us, but I think we're probably fourth. I think that our squad is probably the fourth best squad. Leicester, you could argue, are quite similar to us because they're a very good side. But I think I'm going to judge Ollie properly next season, see if he can get some back in the summer, see if he can address some issues like set pieces, because we do need to work on set pieces a lot, and team shape as well. But yeah, I think Ollie should be judged next season when hopefully this COVID situation gets better and we do get at least half capacity in August, hopefully. That's it. Yeah,
100%. I agree with a lot of what you just said. I'm definitely Ollie neutral. It's hard to judge. You know, this year is kind of a weird one in that there's so many things that happen. The COVID, as well as, you know, injuries, just the stop-start of everything. I'll go to Neil. I kind of know how Neil feels about Ollie. I wonder if a trophy will change his mind. You know what I'm saying? But I'm interested to hear your thoughts, Neil, on Ollie and, you know, what we can take away from this season again.
I think he's done a decent job. I disagree with my young friend about that we've got the fourth best squad. I think our squad is actually better than that. If you look at each position, I definitely think City, I think our squad, player for player, is strong as Liverpool's, and you could argue we're stronger. I think Chelsea, in part, their squad is stronger than ours, but in parts, ours is stronger than theirs. Obviously, City's the standout squad. I think Wednesday's massive for Ollie, but I think what he does with the transfer window, or what he's allowed to do with the transfer window, because what we've got to remember is Woodward is still running that side of it. He ain't left yet, unfortunately. So I think it's key that if Ollie does want, and, you know, particular players, that he's very, very strong in getting that across. That these are the players I want, and I'm not accepting second best, because we shouldn't accept second best. You know, we've got a very, very good squad, and with, I think, 2 or 3 proper signings, basically the spine of the team is where I'd look at. 2 or 3 major signings, 1 centre half, a proper holding midfielder, someone of a Kante ability of, say, 5 years ago. You know, Basuma at Brighton, Ndidi at Leicester. Now they've not got Champions League. Could he possibly come available? And I genuinely think we need another centre forward. And I think a few of you are aware of the centre forward that I favour above most players in the world to come to United. So I won't mention it, because if you have to ask me, have a look at my Twitter feed. And I think that's key. I mean, you know, Ollie might say to the board, I want 250 million quid. And that gets us the Championship. I hate using the word buy. But that sort of, I think that's the sort of money we'd have to spend. And we'd have to get some deadwood's got to go as well. Yeah, no. There's a lot of deadwood's got to go.
Yeah.
Including Fred as well, Doc. I think his time's gone.
All interesting and fair points by my friend Neil.
Well, I think I'm still on the fence about Ollie, as you know. I'm still yet to get convinced.
And that's fair. And that's
he's either fantastically lucky, or the other team's on as good as we think we are. I don't know, but
that's all fair points.
I think he's done a great job under trying circumstances. That can't be disputed.
Fair. Let's get in these comments real quick. From Stuart O'Hara, excuse me. Ali managed some big problems well. The Maguire rest in Greece, Pogba's agent's comments, the ESL debacle. I would agree with that. I think his man management this season, I would give him an A. I really would. I think the way he handled a lot of tricky situations, I have to give him credit for that. For me, we have to win Europa League for this season to be considered a success. A trophy would also instill a winning mentality into some of the players, which has been lacking in the past. I can't argue with that, Fred. Can't argue with that. I love Ali. Kagiso Molabasi says, I love Ali, but I feel like he needs a better coaching staff. I think it's coaching staff to evolve his game. I know autocorrect probably mixed you up there, my buddy. But I agree with that 100%. I definitely think his coaching staff is weak in comparison to the other ones across the country, and he needs to maybe improve that. Jarvis says, I give Ali a 10 out of 10. No manager in the world would have done better with this team. It's a process, and people complaining I'm guessing, are football illiterate. I think that is that's an interesting comment. If we sign Varane, Sancho, and CDM, we will win the Premier League next season and challenge for the Champions League. Jarvis also says, I don't understand how people can be Ali out if they know the state of the club and player material. He's done wonders. I think it's just opinion. I have nothing wrong with anyone saying they want another manager if they have reasons to back it up. I'm not one of these people who are you have to be one way, you have to be this way. Like, no, the point of these platforms is that we can all share our opinions within reason. You know what I'm saying? And if someone's unconvinced by the manager, they're unconvinced by the manager. I'm not gonna, it's an opinion. That's at the end of the day. And I'll get to Doc right here in a second after these comments. Fathers, Sons, and Yard says a solid 7 out of 10. Ollie's at the wheel. Kagiso says I give him a 7 out of 10. Shout out to Sagar Patel from Kenya. Major shout out to you. Everyone who's watching with us, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. People, wherever you're watching, drop where you're watching, whatever city, country you're watching from right now. Drop it in the comments for us real quick. I'll give you a shout out. Yeah, so I'll go to Doc right now. I kind of also know where Barry stands on Ollie, but I'm interested to maybe hear what his thoughts are after the end of the season. Barry, what are your thoughts on Ollie? What are your thoughts on the season? I think the biggest takeaway.
Yeah, like the others, my thoughts on Ollie are ambivalent, neither in nor out at the moment. The plus side, like many have alluded to, he's handled man management well. He's handled some crises in the club very well. What I haven't been impressed with, number one, I don't enjoy his press conferences. I think he's very weak in those. That doesn't reflect on the on-field play. But his in-game management often for me is very poor. Very late substitutions, lack imagination, doesn't change the pattern of the game if the game is going badly. So that for me has been a problem. I reiterate, I'm neither in nor out, but if we don't improve next season, if we don't win something next season, and we haven't won the Europa League, I think Ollie will be gone. I enjoy disagreeing with Neil. I think Liverpool and Chelsea have got much stronger squads than United have got. And in fact, when you watch the 11 out there today, I don't think there are many in that 11 today that could challenge for first team places, even though we've praised some of them are work in progress. But if you look at our rivals, they have literally got 2 players capable of playing well in every position. Yes, Liverpool may have fallen a bit short in the centre-back position, but they lost 3 centre-backs this season. And, to say on the one hand, we've got a great squad, but we need to buy, and then we list 4 positions that we need to strengthen, well, that's not a great squad. So I think that Ollie has done pretty well with the resources that he has, but this, for me, is not a great squad at all. And if you lose players in this squad like Wan-Bissaka, Shaw...
Oh, that's a shame. He shut up. I was really enjoying that.
I think we lost the Doc for a second there. We lost the Doc, but
by the way, I didn't say we had a great squad.
Right.
Check the tape.
Am I back, Timmy?
Yeah, unfortunately, yes.
I'll say that again.
Doc, you're back. You're back.
If we lose pivotal players like Bruno, Pogba, Wan-Bissaka, Shaw, and I'm talking about to injury, we don't have ready-made replacements for them. And we've seen this glaringly obvious with Maguire. And I think that all those people who feel that Maguire is too slow and an utter cartos maybe now appreciate what a good player he is, because we've looked completely at sea without him.
Yeah, no, I would say that Maguire, especially in the second half of the season, everyone, if you follow me for a while, I've been very harsh on him. I don't, I've been very harsh on him since he came to the club. But I would say this second half of the season, he's really grown on me. Like, I think that his performance, like what I was expecting when he first signed is what I saw the second half of the season in terms of his overall consistency. He's cut the mistakes have essentially gone out of his game. Him trying too hard. Again, I think the last season he was trying those diagonal, like pinging those long balls. They're going out into row Z, and it used to frustrate the hell out of me. But now he seems like he's growing into that captaincy role. Maybe that's what I always saw in him. Bear in
mind, he's also playing most of the time with Lindelof next to him, who I'm sorry to say I don't regard as a top class centre back. So I think a better centre back next to Maguire, and we'll see an even better Maguire.
Yeah, no, that's fair point. I disagree on the Lindelof point. I'm a Lindelof fan. I think he's a good player. But yes, to that point, I think Maguire has shown that he is crucially important for us. Like, I can't argue with that. Doc. And, no, all fair points on what you said about the season. I completely agree that, again, there is. I think it'd be disingenuous to say that Ali doesn't have things he can improve on. The in-game management. I completely agree. I think there's so many moments in the season where we could go back and look and say, if we had done this differently, in terms of on the pitch decisions. I think things that would have been very interesting. And to your point about the squads, I'm almost in the middle between Doc and Neil in that I think that we do have I would say we're third. I think there's City, there's Chelsea, and I'd say the squad as a whole. I think we have a better squad than Liverpool, but it's close. I'm not saying it's like we're cutting hairs here if we're being honest. But to that point, I think that Ali has to prove next season that he can win an FA Cup, get to a semifinal of a Champions League, or at least challenge it. I mean, like legitimately challenge today. I'm talking about we're in week 37, week 38, and we're still there. I think he needs to show that he can do that next season, especially if you spend the right amount of money.
Can I just come back? A prime example of poor in-game management was when we saw Fred sent off in the Champions League. He'd been booked. He was an accident waiting to happen. Should have pulled him off the field straight away. And I think that type of stuff shows tremendous naivety from a manager. And it's that kind of stuff that really, that was make or break with respect to the Champions League. So these things need to be ironed out. But I guess he's a relatively inexperienced manager. What I do like about him is he gets what Man United are all about. And that is important.
100%. Jarvis says, what could he have done better and how? We have a great mentality. He trusts his players and they trust him. We got the best out of Bruno Shaw, Cavani, Mason. There's a lot of things he could have done better. There's a lot of things that I feel like us criticizing the manager for, again, this is just small things. We're not saying that, I don't think anyone's saying here that we should fire him off the back of this season. It'd be, honestly, if we look back at the beginning of the season, how poor the transfer window was in hindsight, just looking back, I would have said top four would have been a good season. And he got second, so despite what the circumstances are, history will say we got second. So there's in-game things he can improve on. There's, tactical things he can improve on. But again, these are minor things. 100% on the sending off of Fred. That was a huge, looking back, we're in the Europa League. I think because of that decision, arguably, it was a big mistake. And I'll come to Reese now. I'll ask you on your thoughts on reassessing. We're going to wrap up here soon. But Reese, what are your thoughts on Ollie this season? How do you feel about him? And then looking forward into next season, what do you want to see?
I sort of echo the same points, really. I'm neither Ollie in nor Ollie out. I think the arguments, to me, it's pretty pointless. I'm a Man United fan. I back the team. I back the players. There will be times where, to say it loosely, I will be annoyed depending on a player, like in a game. But I'll give them honest criticism. I'll do the exact same for the manager. But until the manager's gone, whether he leaves on his own decision or he's sacked, I'll back them, but I'm not going to be all in or all out. I don't see the point. But what I will say is there are circumstances this season where he could have changed things. I do agree about the sending off in the Champions League. I think that was a major blow. In-game management, I don't want to reiterate what's already been mentioned because it's like a broken record. But what I will say is the fact that he's managed to keep this team going, though, this is one thing I'm going to praise him for, is we had such a long season, obviously due to COVID when the season was interrupted last year, and then we had to go again for Project Restart to finish the season. We went into Europe, like the Europa League knockout stages, and we didn't have a long time to rest. We didn't get a proper pre-season. So we were effectively, our first game against, right in saying it was Brighton, it was Crystal Palace, sorry, the Brighton game got postponed. And we looked absolutely knackered. And you saw in that game where we had to go from there. And the fact that we've maintained it this whole season, I predicted at the start of the season that we'd finish second, by the way. I'm actually surprised that I was right for a change. But I had us finishing second, and I said we'd get a trophy. I actually did predict that to a friend of mine. That was a show I was on. It was just before the season started. I said we'll finish second and we'll win a trophy. Hopefully, I'm proven right on Wednesday night. But there is some things that he can do better. There's some things that perhaps maybe he really needs guidance from. I don't think his coaching staff are significantly good enough. I think it's good to have a bit of experience in terms of like who you could have, like, I don't know, maybe bring back a Carlos Queiroz, for example, who is renowned for coaching and specifically defending, which is something we don't have. But it just depends on where you want to go for approach. But I echo the statements by the boys. I think they're spot on in terms of why would you want to cast an opinion of all in or all out when it's good to just be a Man United fan. Just make your honest criticisms where things can be improved, where things can go wrong. And I think Charlie was spot on earlier on when he said you'll judge him next season. This season, there was no fans until last week, and it was minute amounts. Liverpool were typical Liverpool from the mid-2000s. They were nowhere in sight. So we'll see where they are next year. City kicked on when we were top of the league momentarily in January. Like, they kicked on at the end of the last year, and they bulldozed the league because their strength everywhere is difficult for us to manage. But the fact that we're still second, I think that's a great achievement, and we'll see where it goes from there. But we have to win a trophy. Otherwise, next year, there will be people calling for his head, and you'll see how quick into the season those questions will be raised. I think that's a fair thing to say.
No, 100%. I agree with pretty much everything you said, Reese. There's a lot. There's things he can improve on. I'm very Ollie neutral. You know, the Ollie and Ollie out debate is tough right now because we all know he's not getting sacked, right? We all know that he's going to come back next season. So what's the point of having the back and forth? I understand, talking about the criticisms, all that good stuff. But again, it's a work in progress. It's really a work in progress. There's been so many points in the season where I remember being furious, like absolutely furious. And then there's points in the season where I remember, there's big moments that excited me. So it's a mixed bag. It really is a mixed bag. But I'm very excited for the off season. Looking forward to all the things that are coming with it. Yep, Mark, I'm coming to you here in a second. And then there's if we win this Europa League, I will be a very, very happy man this whole summer. Like I mean that. Like I can't even. That trophy will mean so much because it just feels like forever since we've held some silverware. So, good things to look forward to. I'm going to go to Mark real quick. I'm going to sign off real here. We're signing off here soon. This is my last time I'm hosting for a while. I'm going to be taking a bit of a sabbatical, focusing on some other stuff, guys. But of course, I love AFU. Love AFU with all my heart. It's one of the.
Well enough.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'll say one. I'll just say one thing as well before you go to Mark as well. It's kind of a coincidence that the last trophy we won 4 years ago was the Europa League in Stockholm. So there is a chance that Gdansk is the event for something new.
Oh my God, Neil. Funny guy, Neil. But again, I just wanted to say that before we signed off that, I love it with all my heart. Ben, you're my guy. Joe, Karthik, Mark, all the other hosts, Connor, who's come in, John for the women's show, all the contributors, you know what I'm saying, that I've been on with, Sams, Doc, Neil, Reese, everyone who's Stu, and all the other guys who've, Hama, everyone I can think of, you know what I'm saying, who's helped me out and, joined the show at one point, I got mad love for all of you. So, I'm not far away. I'll still be contributing here and there when I can, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not running away, but I just
I drink up. I'll raise my can to you.
Well done, Timmy.
Yes.
Well done, Timmy.
Appreciate
emotional.
you guys. Yeah. So shout out to you, Ugly Bear. We appreciate it. I'm gonna get in the comments real quick. Wish you the best for your work, Tammy. Thanks for your contributions and for being a good host. Oh, bro, I appreciate that a lot. Mark, I'm gonna go to you real quick before we sign off.
Well, you've kind of taken the words out of my mouth, mate. But essentially, I just wanted to thank you for everything you've done. You've been a fantastic host. It will be sad to see you go. Obviously, you're going to be contributing, but honestly, I want everybody to really applaud him. Excellent stuff, and it's really sad to see you, mate. See you go, mate. And ultimately, I said this the other day. It's been a very difficult year, and some for a lot of people, and it's really good to have these opportunities and make some good friends. And I truly believe that you and Joe are two of those people. So thank you very much, mate. But I just wanted to say myself that thank you for all your contributions.
Well said, Mark.
Don't be a stranger, Timmy.
Definitely.
It's his final Wall of Red show tonight, isn't it?
Timmy,
That's
Joe's
right,
final Wall of Red tonight.
Yeah, so everyone in the comments, come over tonight and watch Wall of Red.
This is more emotional than Eurovision Song Contest. Well enough.
This is better than Eurovision.
Timmy, pop into Johannesburg. Come and visit.
Hey, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. My goal is to get to England in August or September. I'm working
on my house, Timmy. Plenty of space.
I appreciate that. I'm gonna. Hey, Neil, I might hold you to that.
Even Mark could stay.
Stuart, appreciate these comments, man. They mean a lot. I'm not gonna be far. I'll still be doing contributions here and there. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna try and focus in on my channel for a little bit, and also, just work. That's what's really been. As you guys can see, I haven't been on as much because my work schedule has been ridiculous. But no, again, love all you guys. We're signing off here soon. It's not over. Europa League final. I'm going to try my best to be on that watch along on Wednesday. So guys, tune into that. And then I will see all of you guys again very, very shortly. Much love to everyone. Guys, in the comments, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let all your friends know about the most awesome fan channel that is All for United. Deuces.